Astrologer, back again already with the messages for the full moon in the sign of Capricorn. So hopefully you follow me and you heard me say this week that I was going to post a second video to help break out the information on its own for this full moon in Capricorn. And that means you have clicked on the subscribe button. If not, click on it now, and then that way you'll get notified every time I post new content, which I do on a daily basis because I pull a tarot card every day and I sprinkle in a little astrology. You can also find me out on my website with all of the same content at maraleeburnett.com, including the written article that will support this full moon in the sign of Capricorn. I break it down in detail and by sign to give you some ideas, but of course your own chart tells you the best story, and the best way to learn about that is to book a session with me again at my website, maraleeburnett.com. All right, with that, we're going to just jump right in this and start taking a look at the full moon in Capricorn. All right, so let us spend a little bit of time talking about the general energy for this full moon in Capricorn, which isn't a lot. As you can see, the screen is pretty simplistic, and that is because of the fact that the only things that are closely aspecting this full moon happen to be the nodes. So there is fate that is working with us to complete whatever this cycle is, obviously for the collective and for us as individuals. And then we have a bit of influence from Mars, so it is sitting here. And then we will talk a bit about the fact that Saturn, which is of course the ruler of the sign of Capricorn, is slowing down right now, and it will go retrograde here this weekend. So it is pretty positively aspected. When we look at the screen in front of us, we only see the red line from the opposition, of course, that is required for there to be a full moon between the sun and the moon. So the sun, of course, in the sign of Cancer, is shining a light on the moon in Capricorn, and that's what is helping us complete our goals, right? Capricorn, with Saturn as its ruler, is about achieving goals, achieving success, working hard. It can have things to do with work that you may do for the government, for instance. It can have things to do with older people, an older generation, a grandfather energy. An older man in the government may suddenly step down from their position, for instance, is one way that this could show up for us. And then as we lean into this help from the North Node and the South Node, well, again, I always talk about the nodes, not just that they bring fated events our way, but fated learning lessons, right? The South Node in Virgo that we've been dealing with is all about letting go of unhealthy people, unhealthy diets, unhealthy jobs, right? Letting go of things that are creating poor mental or physical health for us. Virgo is all the things that are a part of our day-to-day life, and letting go of work situations specifically, since this is energy that's associated with the sixth house of health and work and day-to-day activities. So whatever is a part of your life that is not healthy for you, it's time to move on. And that is what the nodes help us do. They help us realize what it is that we need to move on from. Then when we can let that go, that means we can head towards what we're meant for, which is that North Node in Pisces. So instead of being stuck in an office where it's all about the figures and the details and the information, we may decide we want to be in a more creative situation and something that's more artistic, or it could be musical, or it could be spiritual, right? It's something that's connecting to us emotionally instead of just financially when we are separating the South Node and the North Node work. Now, it doesn't mean that we have to give this up fully. So let's say, for instance, you still have, the same job or with the same employer, but you're able to take what you've learned working through that employer, all these facts and figures with you, into a more creative space. For instance, you don't have to forget everything you've learned. In fact, what you've learned already helps you. But when we stay stuck doing the things that we're really good at, we don't grow. And that's the point of the work here with the North and South Node, is learn what you've learned to move you forward, not to keep you stuck. And so we are being helped by fate and destiny, and especially those that have energy within this probably 15 to 23 degrees. I like a tight orb as far as things showing up for us. It could, and that means the closeness between your planet's degrees and the transit planet degrees. So especially then, if you have something at 18 degrees in Cancer or Capricorn, you're going to feel something coming to fullness, coming to completion at this time, and notice it. And you may notice that destiny brings things to an end for you that you weren't expecting, because of the help from the nodes. And because the help and the influence of the nodes is positive, everything that happens is helping you grow, helping you get on your path, helping you do and complete the work that is associated with the sign of Capricorn in the house that you have to have this work show up for you at. So that's pretty fascinating, right? The North Node speaks in a trine to the Sun, so there is this emphasis on taking action, making the effort to help yourself succeed. Then the South Node is speaking in that trine to the Moon in Capricorn. So there again, like I said, is the lessons of the past that help you complete this project, right? This goal of yours. And then it will open doors to a new opportunity. So I'm fascinated, this mystical rectangle showing up at the time of a full moon while we have Mercury pre-shadow, says there's more to the story, right? This destiny of yours may take these next several weeks, because Mercury will continue its retrograde until August 11th. So if you say, oh, she said this was going to happen and nothing happened yet, well, allow the full work of the Mercury retrograde to unfold in order to see this opportunity, because we will have the new moon in the sign of Leo. So it's like we have to clean up the details with Mercury as it goes through the sign of Leo before the new beginning can show up for us either. So we have work to do. It's positive, it's helpful, but we still have work to do, because this is Capricorn, right? And the ruler of Capricorn is Saturn. And Saturn is a part of this mini triangle with the outer planets. So this is the plan. This is your resources. This is the work that you're supposed to be doing on yourself in order to complete this goal. So it's your efforts right now. Yes, destiny is opening doors for you, but you have to step through them. You have to agree. You have to show up. You have to move away from the past in order to allow this future to show up for you. And again, with these outer planets of Pluto and Neptune, and now Uranus for the first time in the sign of Gemini, working in harmony behind the scenes for us. Again, things are shaking up. There is chaos going on in order for us to break free from, again, what we know, what we think is the only way. But what Uranus does now in the sign of Gemini is allow us to see the conflicts, right? The opposing views, and make those bigger than life so that we have to resolve them. It can give us epiphanies. It can give us, big grand ideas, but it takes time, right? Changing your mind takes time. And that's why Uranus takes 7 years to go through a sign. But it is these first few years where we're really starting the restructuring process. So right now, Saturn's in there bridging the gap between the outer planets, which is our inner work, and the personal planets, the moon, the sun, this Mercury energy, that are reshaping, our day-to-day lives. Well, the glue that makes all of that work is Saturn. And so Saturn slowing down is going to slow us down as well. And I would have to say that so far this year has been flying forward. So I'm curious to see when we have this full moon, if it doesn't suddenly kick the energy down and slow us down so that we have to show up and do the work on ourselves. We've been given this broad stroke of opportunity, but now as Saturn slows down in the sign of Aries, right? First time in 29 years, and says, okay, now it's time to reflect. Now it's time to look at what's not working, get rid of that, and then rebuild stronger. And we have several months because this takes a long time. So I expect big things out of this full moon in Capricorn because of how impactful the energy is. Positive, I expect positive things from this, but we might have to wait a while to see the full results that are coming from whatever these big changes are about to be. So with that, this is going to be kind of quick, right? Because we don't have to dig through the whole week. We're just focused on today. I am going to jump right in and take a look at each sign, of course, starting with the sign of Aries, which means the 10th house, which of course is Capricorn ruled energy. So Aries, of course, all the things that we've been talking about related to the Capricorn story, the Saturn storyline, those are directly related to your experience. And the 10th house, of course, it's our career, it's our reputation, it's our notoriety, right? It's the thing that when people think of you, they think of this, right? This hard work, this determination. And so this can bring a big project at work, for instance, to completion for you. This could be you getting a new role, a new position as a result of the hard work that you've been doing so far. This can be doors suddenly opening for you in your career that seem to be opening like it's magical, right? Because of the influence of that north and south node helping you complete this thing that's associated with your 10th house. So it's something about your status. It could even be your marriage status. You will have to let me know in the comments what ends up showing up for you, Aries. So then let us move on, and we will take a look, of course, at the sign of Taurus. And Taurus, this for you then is in your 9th house. So the 9th house is something that's coming to fruition, to a conclusion, that is all about your ability to, grow and expand. All the things that fit into the 9th house are about things that are beyond our self, right? It's growth and expansion, it's higher learning, it's higher education. And so some of you out there may be concluding a degree, or you may be concluding the process that has been helping you get signed up to maybe complete something like your MBA. Some of you may be thinking about relocating to a foreign country because, of course, the 9th house rules the foreign countries, foreign people, foreign places, foreign languages, right? And if you have been considering relocating to work in a foreign country or for a foreign company, then that all could fall in place for you at this time. All right. Then we have Geminis, and Gemini, this is going to happen for you in your 8th house. Well, the 8th house is that house that is about death and rebirth and transformation. It's about intimate relationships. And it is also money that comes to us from other resources. So, again, it depends on your storyline, what you've been working on. Are you going to have a relationship, right, with somebody who's a Capricorn, for instance, right? Start an intimate relationship, or because it's money and finances, are you concluding the work that's been needed to get the funding for something that's important to you, whether it's a new home, your company, something that you've been working on, right? And maybe for some of you, it is some money that comes to you magically, right? That's the whole point of this North and South Node, is it's fate and it isn't expected. And it can even be things that happen to other people, eighth house is others, that then end up benefiting you in some way. But it's definitely going to change things up because that's what the eighth house does. And then we have Cancers, and Cancers, this for you is your seventh house of marriage and relationships. So is your goal to get married? Maybe you're getting engaged now. Is your goal to conclude like a difficult chapter between you and your spouse? Or is the goal to set up a business partnership and then get the financing that you need? Because of course Capricorn also rules over money and finances, to solidify that business relationship in some way. So whatever it is, it's seventh house, it's marriage, it's contracts, it's personal relationships, it's business, it's a commitment of some kind that is either coming to an end or coming to fruition. But either way, it's fated. All right. Next, we have Leos. So Leo, this for you is your sixth house. This is work. This is health. This is things that are a part of your day-to-day life, the goals that you have for yourself. And it can be a really good time for setting goals, for restructuring how you spend your time on a day-to-day basis. And since this can be a job and it's Capricorn energy, this could have something to do with you going to work for a bank, could be completing your time working for a bank or a financial institution or the government, right? So are you looking for work? Has it been a while since you've been able to find work? Well, one of those areas is probably the best way to search and look for work at this time. And then, like I said, fate is going to open the doors for you that will change what you're doing on a day-to-day basis going forward. All right. And then, of course, we have Virgos. And with that South Node in your sign, you know you've been learning to let go of a lot of things that are holding you back. And there can be some pretty big ones now related to the fifth house. And the fifth house is the things that you love, things that bring you joy, things that you're passionate about. If it is related to your children, then this could be a time where you have a child who's maybe just graduated and they are ready to get out there and on their own, and they could be moving away from you, right? You're letting go of your children, letting them make their own decisions in some way, you know, that is very important to them. And you have to let go of the control over the children, right? And for some, it could be about a lover. The fifth house is about those that we date and get to know before we get to that seventh house relationship where things become serious. This is where we begin dating and make it fun again, but it's still serious, right? It's Capricorn energy. So it can feel intense and serious, even though it's supposed to be fun. So just remember to have the balance of both, right? You can be committed to this person, but don't forget in all the seriousness to still have some fun. So what will show up for you, Virgos? You'll have to let me know. And then we have Libra. And Libra, this is happening in your fourth house of home and family. So if you've been trying to sell your home, then this would be good news for you. whatever needs to be in place, right? The rules, the regulations that may have been getting in the way, that good old Saturn energy, have cleared. And now things are going to be able to move forward, and the sale of this home will conclude for you. And if you're not selling it, again, you may be refinancing or looking for financing for like a home improvement project. And again, whatever's been in the way of that money coming to you, that is going to clear. Now, it might, like I said, keep in mind, take all the way through that Mercury retrograde in the middle of August before you see it, but there should at least be some kind of hurdle cleared with the help of this full moon. All right, Libras, keep me posted on that. And then we have Scorpios, and this is for you happening in your third house. So this is something that is involving the community that you are a part of. It can be something involved in educating yourself. So maybe you've been taking a course, maybe you've tried to get a certificate of some kind, and maybe that helps you improve your work that you do, having this certification somehow. And this would be the time, right, where you're, again, any blocks to you getting this completed would, fall away, and doors would open for you, and you'd be able to conclude this. And for some, it could be as simple as getting a new car, right? And because that's transportation in the third house, I need to get around my community, and I need the financing, Capricorn, to come in so that I can get that new vehicle that will help me broaden where I can get to accomplish my goals in my community. So just some lots of fun ways that this can show up. Now, when we get to Sagittarius, this is happening in your second house. So this is all about the money that you make. And this, of course, is tied to your career because of the fact that it's Capricorn energy. So there could be an advancement for you in your career. Again, maybe you're someone that has a specialty, and this Capricorn energy is going to conclude the hard work that you've been putting in, and then there can be a financial payout. So some of you may be changing jobs. Some of you just may be changing roles within your current company. And like I said, if suddenly your job disappears, don't fret, because it's all happening for a reason, and just be patient if a job ends, because better things are on the way. But you always land on your feet, so I'm not worried about you, Saggies. All right, Capricorn, this of course is you. This is all about how you see yourself, the hardworking person that you are, and the goals being achieved that you set out to do 6 months ago when we had the new moon in Capricorn. So now you are achieving them, right? And it's just always a reminder when the sun is across the sky, shining a light from your partners and from your relationships, that they have helped you. And so this is a really good time to be saying thank you and how much you appreciate their support as well. But this could, again, be some kind of financial gain for you. Most importantly, always remember to invest in yourself. And when you do, and when you do the hard work, you will be rewarded. Then we have Aquarius. So Aquarius, this for you is in your 12th house. Now the 12th house is things that are hidden and beneath the surface. And of course we have Pluto there stirring things up in a positive way. And the 12th house can also have things to do with large institutions. So again, if you work for a large company like the government and you have a goal that you've been working on, then it's about to come to completion, and in a good way that could benefit you financially as well. It's also a really good time to be working through any subconscious blocks, especially money blocks, with the help of this energy. And then when you release that, then the money that you deserve can come in for you at this time as well. And as we round things out, of course, it's Pisces. And with that North Node there in your sign, you're being helped. You are being guided through this work that is for you in your 11th house. So this is friend groups. It could be a project that you've been working on collectively with other people. And whatever that work is, it's now ready to come to some conclusion. Again, if you're working on financing for a community project, for instance, then the money that you've been searching can come to fullness for you now. This is definitely part of your work, right? With the North Node in your sign, you're figuring out your path. It could be the solution or conclusion for you that has everything to do with your health as well, and meeting the right people and becoming a part of the right network to help you through any health issues that you have. So those are all just suggestions. It depends on your chart, the house that you actually have this in, and your natal planets. So what's being activated in your chart that's around this 18 to 20 degrees? And is it activated by the sun? Is it the moon? Is it the North Node? Is it the South Node? Is it all of them? The more you are impacted by these planets by transit, the more you will notice this full moon event showing up in your life. So I hope this was fun and helpful. And I'm still going to work on my Uranus webinar so we can talk more about that energy as well. So let me know how it's going out there in the comments. Let me know if I can help you. And I'd love for you to book a session with me so we can break it all down. All right, guys, take care and happy full moon. We'll be talking again soon. Bye now.